Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Real Positive Girl podcast with me, Sabrina. This is the show that's going to help you become your best self. And today we are talking about feeling invisible all the time. I entitled this one, We All Want to Be Seen. And I think it's going to be a good one. It's just really like a reminder episode. You know how I have episodes where, if you're new here, I have the episodes where it's a very distinct lesson with like 5 to 8 points of advice to give you. And then there are other ones where it's reminder, where the advice is kind of built into the quick conversation. So before we jump into that, though, I do want to remind you that I would love to chit chat with you and talk to you via DMs on Instagram. I am at Sabrina Joy Perozzo, or you're welcome to send me an email. All that information is in the show notes. So go ahead and take a peek at that when you have a moment. I would love to hear from you, conversate with you, get to know you, become friends, take any suggestions you have, prayer requests, or just to say hey, hi, and hello. But again, today we are talking about we all want to be seen and how we feel invisible. So let's jump into it. I don't really want to talk about this a whole lot. Like really ever. I think I've spoken to maybe like a couple people in my life, if I'm not going to count my therapist. But I know I need to, because I'm not the only person dealing with it on a regular basis. And it's that I genuinely feel invisible all the time. And this is something I cry about often too. And, you know, I'm not saying this to get sympathy or for anyone to feel bad about what I'm dealing with, but just to be genuinely vulnerable with you and honest, because I know that I'm not the only person that is struggling with this. So, you know, I feel like I am a shadow, sometimes drifting through my life and not actually a part of it sometimes. I mean, I know people see me and talk to me, obviously, and, you know, you can see that I do work at my job and have fun with other humans sometimes, but I don't really feel seen or appreciated, you know, and I want to be appreciated. Everyone wants to be appreciated, right? I want people to make a big deal about what I do and how well I'm doing. I think that is just a normal human function desire. It's not necessarily something that we should feel shame for. I don't think so. If you do feel shame for feeling those things and you haven't shared them with anyone, I would encourage you to find someone that you feel is safe and you can trust and share them with them. Like, it's good to get those feelings out, to really like get them out, say them in the way that you would just be able to release all that emotion, and it'll give you a better idea of where you're coming from, how you truly feel about it, how I guess how deep your feelings go, and then you're able to take a step back and see it from a wider perspective because you finally got it out on the table, and then really evaluate like what you can do and how you can move forward and how this might be affecting other things in your life of, you know, preventing you from moving forward with something because you feel like it won't matter, or feeling like you will be stuck where you are forever because you feel like you don't matter. And you don't feel appreciated or wanted or whatever. I totally get that. But it's important for you to share that with someone that you feel safe with. So, but yeah, I don't think it's anything that we need to feel shameful about, of wanting people to, you know, give us a pat on the back. And I want people to remember me. That's like one of my things, and have a good enough connection with me that I am not some random occurrence or event in their life that didn't matter. And I'm sure some people will be like, yeah, you're asking a lot. And, you know, I don't mean all the time, obviously. Because we encounter strangers on the regular, all of us, maybe less because of what's happening in the world currently, but we all do. And those experiences don't always mean something. You know, if you wave at someone in the grocery store, you know, or have that checkout person, you know, bag up all your stuff, like that doesn't necessarily you're not expecting them to like remember you, right? You know, and but it's just like those integral people, those people that you have real experiences with. That's what I'm talking about, wanting to be appreciated and remembered. And I know people will say, well, it's partly your fault, my fault, because we're not making an effort. And maybe that's true sometimes. You know, maybe I or you, if you have experienced the same thing and feelings, don't make a big enough effort to leave most people we interact with something memorable or important enough to not forget. So whether it's like a like a joke or the way that we look or something that we said or whatever. But I don't think that should be a prerequisite either. I don't think that we should have to make a mark, on someone in a big enough way. I believe we can appreciate people, like us appreciating people and people appreciating us. I believe that can be done in different and easy ways that don't include needing to be impressed by them. Like we shouldn't have to go out of our way to impress people for them to remember us, for us to feel like we matter in the world or are appreciated or not invisible. That, that we're here. We're here. We're real people that are here. Because we can, so if we're trying to, give that appreciation to someone else, we can just offer a compliment or word of advice if it's appropriate. Even eye contact and a smile can go a long way. So you could have that interaction with a stranger at the grocery store if you just give them a true smile, and maybe that will have made their day. I've talked about this before. You never know what someone else is going through. You never know what they're struggling with. You never know what they are up against. And a lot of people are really good at covering up what they're going through or faking it or just, planting that smile on their face because they don't know how to deal with what they're going through, or they feel embarrassed. They feel shameful. They don't feel like they have to hide it to be able to get through it. So, but by you or someone else offering you a smile and eye contact and being genuinely nice, holding the door for someone, whatever it may be, helping them pick something up if they dropped it, whatever, it can go a long way. And it can make someone that feels invisible appreciated because they're like, wow, someone actually smiled at me. Someone actually made eye contact with me. Someone actually held the door, thought enough to do that give that courtesy. And as small as it may seem, it makes a big difference. I think it does. And, even with all that, we can't change how other people appreciate us or understand us or even care about us, right? So, it's important to vent your feelings and share them with someone that's safe and, really understand how you're feeling, what that actually looks like, how that's affecting other things in your life, in your decision making. But we can't change other people that may or may not be treating us well or that we want to be appreciated by and important to, and we're not. We just don't have the power to do that. We can only change how we react to these feelings we have and what we decide to do moving forward to help us from feeling down on ourselves. That's all we can do. And I know that sounds like lame. You're like, Sabrina, that's not anything revolutionary. I've heard that before. How is that going to help me right now? I don't know. I mean, it can help you right now by you understanding and accepting the fact that despite what anyone does to us, we can't change how they act and who they are and what they're all about. We just have to control who we are. That's what we're in control of, ourselves, no one else. And if we think we're in control of other people, we really need to take a step back and widen our perspective of understanding that we cannot. Because if we're simply manipulating people and we think that we're in control of them, or we think that we can control them and it's only going to take a little bit more effort of this, that, and the other, we are sadly mistaken. We just are, because people will do what they want to do. Even if they promised you otherwise, sometimes they'll still do what they want to do. That's not what you want. So again, we can only change how we react to these feelings we have and what we decide to do moving forward to help ourselves from, continuing to wallow in the pit of despair that I like to talk about, and feeling invisible. We have to learn to appreciate ourselves. And it's not easy. I suck at it. I am not good at this at all. I lived a life where I thought I was only valued at what others thought of me or classified me good as. They were able to label me. I didn't feel I had control of what I thought about myself, which is why I struggled with perfectionism and people pleasing. Abso-freaking-lutely. I valued what others thought of me and lived by that, as if it was not just their opinion, which it is, but as if it was actual facts and truth, but this can't be the case, right? If you're living a similar life that I used to, I don't well, okay, let's be honest. I still struggle with this, right? I already told you I really suck at this. I suck at appreciating myself. But I've gotten a lot better, and that's the point, right? So if you're in a similar way or you're doing worse or better, it doesn't matter. This just can't be the case. We can't continue to live our life based upon what other people are thinking of us or how they classify us and, how they put us into these boxes that they make up that are fully lined with their opinions. We have to step up for ourselves and know and believe that we matter. We matter. And it's so important, and I struggle with this so badly, especially lately with my job, the job that I do. And it's a difficult situation that I'm in, but I work so hard and I feel like I don't get any appreciation. But I have to keep working hard just because of the situation that I'm in. And that's fine, but it's also not fine on some days where I want to cry and be sad about it and then get over it and then go a while and then feel okay. And then again, dip into those feelings sometimes. And I do know that at some point that behavior will linger off, but I haven't gotten there yet. And I'm working on it though. It's getting better. But yeah, we have to know and believe that we matter. And the fact that I need to remind myself that I matter has gone so far that if you look on Instagram, I forget his name. I think it's Damian Harmon. But if you just look up You Matter on Instagram, there is a gentleman that has a brand called that. And so he makes like sweatshirts and t-shirts and hats and stuff like that has that on there. And I think part of it goes to a good cause. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to buy a hoodie that says You Matter. And it's kind of expensive, but I was like, this is worth it because it's a good reminder to me to be like, okay, whenever I wear this, I can remember that I do matter. And you're probably like, well, that's kind of sad, Sabrina, that you have to wear a piece of clothing to remind yourself that you matter. But some days I do need that. Some days I need the old post-it note on the mirror trick where it's like, you matter, or to set my background on my phone to be something super inspiring that is around that message. Or I need to read a book or listen to a podcast or some music that has that tone in it because it can be so hard when you are so like stuck in that pit of despair that I was talking about where you feel sorry for yourself and you're sad. Maybe you're dealing with depression and other mental health struggles. And you have to find a way to remind yourself, and it can be really, really tough, but we do. We have to step up for ourselves. We have to know and believe that we matter because we do. Every single one of us. We're all made for a specific purpose. We're here for a reason. It's all meant to be. But I know it can be tough when you feel like you're alone in this, when you feel like you're alone in appreciating who you are, what you're all about, how you're working hard, how you're doing this, that, and the other, how you're so super good at all of these different things. I often do. I often feel alone in this, despite the fact that I have people in my life that love me and care for me. But not everyone is really good at providing that recognition, that appreciation, right? I feel like I'm really good at giving that to other people. I feel like there's people in my life that are not very good at giving that to me, or they're good at giving it in certain ways and not others. That's fine. I'm not here to, give judgment on whether people are good at this or not, which is why we have to be good at giving it to ourselves. And for me, just to be honest, I crave recognition because I want to feel special and highly regarded. And again, I don't think that's anything to feel shameful about. It's just normal, right? And I'm sure a lot of us crave that recognition because again, you want to feel special. You want to be highly regarded among people. But I know that's not the key to happiness. Like I know it. In my mind, in my heart, it's not. Happiness comes from within. And the joy we find in our lives that has nothing to do with outside sources has to come from within. It really does. Oh, but it's tough, right? It's so tough. We also have to know that we all have times where we're going to shine. We absolutely do. It's just whether or not we are comparing those moments to other people's moments. This is like so tough, right? If we are comparing our moments of shining in the world to other people's moments of shining in the world, of course, we're going to be disappointed because there's always going to be someone that has a bigger shining moment than us. But there's a person that has a bigger shining moment than that person, for sure, without a shadow of a doubt. But, we don't necessarily go down that rabbit hole of thinking because we're like, well, that person, I want to be like that person because, they have all this attention. They have so many followers. They're making money doing this, that, and the other. People love them. People talk about them all the time. I want to be that person, right? Sometimes we do. But this is where we get in trouble, like big trouble, because comparison is the thief of joy. And jealousy is so toxic. And we are all meant to be who we are for a reason. Because if not, don't you think that God would just control, copy, paste everyone to be the same? And then that's the way the world would have been. That's really what it would have been. But it's not. It's not. We're all different. And it's so hard for us to accept each other as being different because we think they need to be like us or other people think they need to be like them. It goes both ways. And if they're not like us or if we're not like them, then we feel like something's wrong when it's not. We just need to embrace each other as being different because that's a strength we can all learn from and grow from as a community in the whole entire freaking world. But I know we don't live in a utopia and we never will, so that's fine. But we do get in trouble with comparison. And, I want to end this on a note that maybe a lot of us haven't thought about, but I want to remind you, God appreciates us. He really does, because He made us and has crafted a life for us that is meaningful. Whether we see that or not, that is truth. He really appreciates us. We have to remind ourselves of that and understand and ask God, like, okay, well, can you please remind me of that? Or can you please help me realize that I don't need to be like everyone else and I don't need to have fame and fortune like everyone else because I will be able to thrive in my own way. Those things in my heart will be fulfilled in a different way or they will be let go and better things will come in. That's what we need to believe. We just put so much pressure on ourselves to be someone other than who we were meant to be. And I think that's part of my problem. I think that's a part of a lot of people's problems that deal with feeling invisible, feeling like we don't matter. But we just need to wait because our time will come eventually. And we probably have already had moments that we're disregarding because they weren't as big as someone else's. So we do need to tap into a little bit of gratitude as well. Just to be real with you. But I know it's hard. I know it sucks. And I know you want to cry sometimes. And sometimes you do. I do too. But if we just continue to be stronger and stronger and appreciate ourselves for who we are, what we're all about, we'll be stronger each and every day. We'll get better at it. It won't drag us down to the pit as often, and we will thrive. Honey, will thrive. So that's all I have to say about that, you guys. I hope that's really helped. I know it's not going to fix your problems immediately, but it should help change your mindset and your course of thinking to help you love yourself more, consider yourself more, appreciate yourself more, and realize that you don't need the attention that other people are getting because sometimes they might not even want the attention that they're getting. It might be really overwhelming and weighing down to them where you're over here living free and wild and having fun because you don't have that much pressure. But you're putting the pressure on yourself because you think that's what you want, when really you just need to put yourself first, care and love for yourself first, appreciate yourself first, and others will follow eventually when it needs to. So, well, thank you so much for listening to the Real Positive Girl podcast. Again, with me, Sabrina. I hope this really helped. Again, please check the show notes, and I hope to get a DM from you on Instagram or an email about just saying hey, just saying hi. Any suggestions on topics, any prayer requests, anything you want to tell me, any feedback. I would love and appreciate it. I would love to read it. I look forward to it. It's going to be great. So thank you for that. Thank you for sharing, listening, downloading the show. I appreciate it. And you guys are the best. So until next time, have a good one, and I'll see you next time. Bye, guys.